Yeah, it goes late nights on the road. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Yeah, that's just how it
Guys,
goes these days.
welcome back to another episode of One Step at a Time podcast with your host, the Ocean Flight 111 and Drift Full Potential with Sarah Delays. Guys, have a look around. I know what you're thinking. You're like, Martin, you're in a studio. For God's sake, man, what are you doing in a studio? Well, finally upgraded. Oh my God, new year, new me. Somebody say, new year, new me. Hashtag new goals. And so I upgraded. Let me just make sure my mic is sounding good. I upgraded into a little studio. Then I'm about to go do the next batch of podcasting. And yeah, I just needed to upgrade because I've been 30 episodes deep. And it was about time that I started kind of making everything a bit more professional. Obviously, new year and new horizons, new opportunities. So yeah, I just felt it was the time to start being in a studio to record them. Wherever you're listening to this, I hope you're having a really nice day or a nice night. You know, as I always say, you might be listening in Uganda. You might be listening in Texas. Where else in the world might you be listening? You might be listening to this in Westmeath. Guys, the possibilities are endless. You could be listening to it anywhere. But most importantly, you've taken some precious time out of your day to sit down and listen to the Ocean Flight 111. So guys, what have I been up to and what is today's episode all about? Oopsie, I just dropped my bottle. Guys, it's a new studio. I'm a little nervous, okay? Please, no judgment. So yeah, what's today's episode? I guess today's episode is kind of like a little bit about kind of extracting happiness. I'm going to tell some stories, extracting happiness, even when you're not in a great mindset or you're not even feeling good, being able to still extract happiness. I'm going to give some examples from one of my recent trips. Oh wait, man, where was the trip? Guys, I went to Morocco. I went to fucking Africa. That's where I went. I know what you're thinking. Africa, man, what brought you there? Well, it's always been a dream to go to Africa. So to actually make that a reality last year, wow, it was last November I went. But yeah, I'm going to tell the story of that, what it was like, and just overall being able to still enjoy moments even when your body, your mind, your soul is kind of rejecting you. Even when you don't feel it lying, and not letting a mood ruin a moment. I think that's one of the biggest things I want to cover in this episode. Not letting your current mood, be it depressed or low energy or just deflated, not ruin a beautiful moment which is presented in front of you. And I think that's what I really want to try get in this episode. I really want to try convey. But before I get into that story, extracting happiness, quick update. Of course, guys, oh my God, I'm so excited for this year. The year 2025. What have I been up to? I went back to counselling recently. Guys, thank God I went back to counselling. It's just really important for me to vent. And because I wasn't even doing the podcast, I wasn't writing and I wasn't doing counselling, I just was like ready to explode. So I'd been having a bit of a rough November, December, but I made like a smart strategic decision to go back to counsel. Which is really beneficial for me because I just do need to vent. I just need to let it out. Of course, I do have some intrinsic issues that will take some proper therapy, in-depth therapy, like real precise. But just from a day-to-day, I just like, it's important for me to let it out because when I don't let out, I guess when I don't release my energy, and thoughts, I just start getting built up and I started feeling like inflated with like negative energy. And it's like the more I put it off, the more I put off like releasing, the more I kind of dig myself into this like ever bigger hole of like just self-pity and like negative energy and like just getting stuck in a rut and not being able to get out of it. So it's really important that I'm able to click my fingers, just make a very clear-headed decision. Okay, I just need to release this. I need to either write it or do counselling or just release it in a positive way and not let one bad day turn into a bad 6 weeks. Because anyone's listening to this podcast, I spoke about it a lot. Like one of my Achilles heel is sometimes letting a bad day transform into a bad 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and getting stuck in a rut. And for me, for everyone's for different, but for me, it's getting up late and not being on point, focused. And I think, I'm very blessed. I don't really get that sad anymore. It's not that I get sad like I used to get. It's just that I get numb and I get kind of stale. No, stale is a better word. Where like I'm very foggy, my mind's very foggy, I'm not full of energy, and it's very difficult to be my usual self because, guys, I'm an energetic guy. I'm pushing out energy here, I'm pushing out energy there. I'm saying hello to the postman. I'm asking him how his day is. How's your day going? I'm answering the door to people with a big smile before they can even have a chance to smile. That's the type of person I am. I want to hit the pump with that positive energy. That's very difficult to do when you're just depressed. Not depressed. I'm not going to use the word depressed. Deflated is the word I'm going to use. I think that's the best word. Deflated is the word I would use. So yeah, just very important. So I'm back doing counselling. Oh my God, big news. I signed up for a marathon. Whoop, 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 whoop. What marathon, Martin? What did you sign up for? I signed up for the Milan Marathon. Wow, tremendous behaviour. Tremendous behaviour considering, the last marathon I didn't exactly do it properly. But no, this one is on the 8th of April, so I'm beginning my training and getting some new shoes this weekend because I was very blessed. I got some money in, so I'm going to get my pair of really great marathon shoes because, guys, I'll be honest, like the shoes I've been wearing, they're grand, but that's all they are, grand. So, yeah, definitely need a pair of proper run shoes. And then I was just thinking I'll probably do like an episode of the podcast there in Milan. Or as the Americans call it, Milan. Do you ever notice that? The Americans call Milan Milan. So that was, that's exciting. And also, obviously in the new year, I had a good Christmas. I was very blessed. My sister got me this sick journal, which you can see here. Isn't that dope? Isn't that real dope? Have it beside the Simprove. Guys, if anyone has a contact at Simprove and would like to contact me about some sponsorship, hit the ocean. The line's always open. Hey, that ocean line's always open for you, baby. Alrighty then. So yeah, was very blessed. Got some cool things like that. Yeah, I was sick over Christmas, unfortunately, so that was a bit unfortunate. But look, hey, it is what it is. I recuperated. I will say my acne is broken out again. I was down at home in Sligo, grand, went back up to Dublin. I don't know if it's the water, if it was my eating, but my acne just exploded, man. So that was really unfortunate. And it exploded like, geez, so bad since it wasn't as bad since I was a kid. It exploded that bad. So I was a bit shit. But look, it is what it is. I shall overcome. I shall conquer. 2025, the year of solutions, guys. Solutions. Not overthinking things, but finding solutions, aiming for solutions, finding solutions instead of ruminating. Hey, am I right? Right? That rumination, people. We all be doing it. We all be going round in circles in our heads too much. So yeah, was sick on New Year's. Didn't do anything for New Year's, but yeah, December's always a tough time for me, man. I don't know why either. It's just, pardon me, I'm drinking my bomb. It's always a tough time. I just find myself always getting in a slump around Christmas. Maybe it's because it's easier, because everyone's kind of like dropping off and like you don't have to be as focused and stuff. Then I find myself kind of like getting into a hole. So yeah, it's just something to be wary of going forward, I guess. November's like the month that like I find the toughest. But I am ever changing that, ever evolving. As the years go by, I'm having better Novembers, better and better. But yeah, I want to get into today's episode, extracting happiness, even when you feel deflated. So, I'm going to bring it to Morocco. Guys, I went to Morocco. Me, Nathan Sheridan, Aina McNamara, 3 souls on camelback riding through Europe to get to the promised land of Morocco. Will they get there? What adventures awaits? What obstacles will they have to overcome? Right, no, we didn't have to go on the camelback. We got Ryanair flights. I suppose it's like the modern day version. Back in the day it was camels. Today we got cheap Ryanair flights. Shout out Ryanair, doing as good as always. So yeah, it was my first time traveling with Aina McNamara. Of course, guys, you'd be familiar with Nathan Sheridan. I'd mention him quite a lot. Young Sheridan, around the world like a young Sheridan, young Nate Sheridan. So yeah, it was really cool, really exciting. As I said, I always wanted to go to Morocco. So we embarked from Dublin. The flight wasn't too bad. Just want to make sure everything's cherished here for a second, guys. Yeah, the flight wasn't too bad. It was only about 2.5 hours. And man, it was so cool because I ended up sitting beside these two guys, and they were both called Charlie, right? There was Charlie to my left and Charlie to my right. And Charlie to my right was a bit cooler than Charlie to my left. One dude was about, I think he was 76, and then the other Charlie was like 96. So it was pretty mad. Like I was in between a whole lot of wisdom. And there wasn't much conversation, but then I ordered food, and then when I got back, they'd like put my food on my seat for me, and like they were like holding up my food when I got in, and that's how we kind of started conversating. But Charlie to my left hadn't been to Morocco in like 30 years. He used to live at the edge of Spain. I can't remember what it's called, and he used to travel to Morocco tons of times. And then Charlie to my right, this dude was fucking 96, man. 96. You heard me correctly. And he was from Cavan, and like, man, I was trying to pick his brains, like, because this dude been around. So I was just chatting to him, and he was telling me about his family business, and he remembers like the first car coming to the local town in Cavan, and he used to run a little shop with his family and whatnot. And he remember, man, did you know Cavan won the All Ireland? For any Irish people listening, Gaelic, what the fuck? Cavan won the All Ireland. That's incredible. Sligo have never won the All Ireland. Anyhow. So that was mad, being in between them and just hearing different stories and them conversate and whatnot. Always great to meet someone on the plane, guys. If you've listened to the All American episode, you know I'm a pretty big proponent of meeting people on planes. So let's bring it back in here. So I get to Morocco. As soon as I get there, boom, I can feel the heat. We get a taxi, and straight away there's just like stray dogs, stray cats everywhere. Get a taxi to our hotel and whatnot. And I was feeling excited about the trip, and I was hoping that the trip would kind of boost my energy and kind of inject some enthusiasm into my life. But what it didn't really fix anything. So I got there, and we had some amazing times, but there's a few particular times I want to talk about. One of them is, so one of the nights we were in, where were we? We were in a place called Sidi Kouki. So Sidi Kouki is amazing, guys. So to put in perspective, Sidi Kouki is a village in Morocco. It's about 2.5 hours away from Agadir, and it's about, is it a half an hour away from Essaouira? It's a big surfing place, but like it's a small enough village. Like there's 2 shops, they're in sheds. There's a little bar, then there's some food spots, couple of surf spots, like one touristy surf spot, and that's kind of it. And as I said, like it's just like a village. It's just wild donkeys everywhere, camels around the place, cats and dogs running around. You go into the shop, it's like a shed. Oh, what a vibe! Like what a vibe! Like really, it's really like you went back into the 70s. So, anyways, we were about to leave one of the nights, and we're about to leave one of the mornings. We're staying in Nathan's friend's house called Nordine. It was like an Airbnb, and he was so excited for me to meet Nordine, but Nordine had gone away. But the morning we're about to leave, who turns up? Nordine comes home, and he's like, "Oh, guys!" And this guy is just the biggest bucket of enthusiasm, love, and happiness you'll ever meet in your life. And Nathan and Aina were so excited for me to meet him. So I met him anyways. And he's literally lived up to expectation, just a big bundle of joy. And he's like, "Oh, guys, you got to stay another night." So that's exactly what we did. And wow, what an adventure. Now, I want to take into mind, guys, that I'd started smoking on the trip. I think about 2 days in, I'd started smoking because I thought about it. And then I started smoking. And I only smoke when I'm stressed. It's only every case. And I'd gone for a jog the first day, but that was it. I'd only gone for one jog. And so I started smoking anyways. That's just an important part. And I was just feeling stressed and anxious. And, so just to clarify, I wasn't meditating. I wasn't running. I was smoking. And it wasn't anything about the country that was getting me, because the country was so peaceful and loving. It wasn't anything about the trip. It was just like baggage I was carrying there, if that makes sense. So anyways, but fast forward to that day, Nordine brings us to this amazing cave, right? This cave by like this kind of like beach that's very like unknown. And we're sitting in this cave. There's me, Aina, Nathan, and these two French people, one girl and one lad. And we're just sitting in a cave right on the water, just overlooking the ocean beside the beach. Absolutely amazing, like beautiful. And I was feeling shit going there till we got there. And I was sitting there and I was like, right, I'm in a cave off an ocean off City Kauki, off the top of Africa, Morocco. I need to enjoy this moment. I need to find a way. And so that's exactly what I did. Thankfully, I was able to swim. I was like, right, I need the water. So what I did is took off my clothes and I went for the swim, and I was just in the water and I was just feeling the water, and I was just reminding myself, just trying to wake up of where I was and wake up from the fogginess that was trying to like distract me from my reality. And that's what often happens in them moments when I'm not feeling good. I'm trying to wake myself up. And be it, I'm only able to wake myself up for a couple hours, but I can enjoy them hours then, because the last thing I want to do is not be present while having a magical moment presented in a gift wrapped with a red ribbon, and I'm not even able to enjoy it. So I was in the water swimming, and like I'm telling you, the views of this place, like nothing but open beach and ocean for miles. Like that's all you could see. And then behind me was just the caves, and they were cooking some fish in the other cave beside us. There were some tourists in the other cave, and then we were having some Moroccan tea in our cave, and just laid out on like a lovely blanket as a fisherman was untying his net in front of us. Come on, like it's crazy. So I'm in the water anyways, and I'm literally just trying to wake up, and like so I'm throwing up the water on my face and just slapping my face and just reminding and repeating where I am, repeating how grateful I am to be alive, how grateful I am for this moment, that no matter what intrusive thoughts or the feelings, emotions that are trying to get me down, I'm going to enjoy this moment. I am determined to persevere and enjoy everything that's in front of me. And it's almost like giving yourself a big kick up the arse, a big push in the back, and say, come on now, you can do it. And I think that's like one of the things I've kind of been very grateful to be able to learn, to like push myself out of this self-loathing. Now, to do it consistently and frequently is something I need to get better at, but being able to do it in moments, I've definitely sharpened that tool and that skill. And that's exactly what I did. I was able to like ground myself in that water, shake it, put my head in the salty water, shake it up, lift out my head as my hair sprung into the air, and go, fuck yeah, I'm in Morocco, let me enjoy this. And that's what I did. I was able to enjoy it, enjoyed all the cave. Then I got back to the village after the cave, and again, didn't feel too good. So obviously was able to push through and enjoy that couple hours, but then got back, I was feeling tired. But then that evening, here's another example. That evening, so we got back, chilled for a couple hours, and then that evening was crazy. And the gang of us then, Nordine drove us to a fisherman's hut, right, off the coast, right beside the water. So the fisherman's hut was right on the beach, made of stone, literally like a stone's throw away from water. And that night was something special again. But the same thing, and I want to give another example of what happened. So we got there. He drove us like near where the fisherman lived. Then we got out and walked for about 5 minutes through like sand dunes, and then got to this fisherman's hut. Wow, a fisherman's hut in Morocco, right on the beach. This is living. So we got there, and there was a fisherman, and then a couple of young lads and a lad with a guitar, and they were all bringing out the food, freshly cooked sea bass. So the sea bass was literally caught like an hour and then cooked right in front of us on like a fire, beautiful fire on the beach. That is their only light. Like no electricity in this hut whatsoever, literally just a fire. And underneath the hut, then they started laying out the food for us as we sat in these little seats, and the food was all laid out in front of us underneath this colourful hut with strings attached to keep it up and little sticks to keep it up. And the food gets brought out, and my posture is just, I'm down like this waiting for our food, and I'm like, oh man, I'm saying to myself, I really hope I can enjoy this. Like, and then I was like, wait a second, my posture is down like this. Of course I'm going to not feel good. Like, when you're really cramped up like that, your emotions and your not emotions, but all your chemicals, it's your protective. There's a reason you kind of crunch up like this when you're scared and protective. So I straighten down my posture, put my chest forward, power pose that motherfucker, and went to myself, no, I'm gonna enjoy this. Now, I'm the ocean, baby. Again, wakey, look what's in front. And it's like, it's so easy to get trapped in that fogginess when you're not feeling good. It's so hard to push through it. And it's like, imagine, the way I like to think of it, imagine brain fog. You're driving in a car, right? And brain fog is all on your windowsill. Or sorry, all in your front screen of the car, there's all brain fog. That's like fog. And if you drive for long enough, and your front window's all like fogged up, you kind of get used to it, that you almost forget that you can like wipe it away and kind of wipe off maybe like all the fog. Let me kind of reword that. So imagine brain fog is like sleet. You're driving through sleet and snow, and brain fog is the sleet that's falling in your front window that you're looking out of, the front screen. And you drive for long enough that you start to get used to the sleet, and you start to forget that you can wipe it off the front screen. And that's kind of like what brain fog is like. You got to remember that you can wipe it off the screen and see a full vision again. And it can kind of almost be hard to remember when you get used to feeling or seeing a certain way. So again, we're sitting down, and I was like, man, I gotta enjoy this. Posture up, good power pose, and bada boom, bada bing, and I enjoyed it. And then that night was magical, man. We went into the hut, and we all sang songs. There was a bit of that sticky icky going on. Now I was not smoking the sticky icky. That was the last thing I needed. No sticky icky. So yeah, that was the last thing I needed. But we were all sat around the fire underneath this hut, and I was able to enjoy it. And we were singing the song on the lads. It was like, welcome to City Cokie, welcome to City Cokie. We are so happy, we are so happy. And it was just that repeated over and over again, him playing on the guitar. Welcome to City Cokie, welcome to City Cokie. We are so happy, we are so... It was literally just that over and over again. So that was hilarious. So that ended up being so beautiful and special that I just enjoyed it so much. And because I'd kind of woke myself up in that fog, I was extracting all the happiness, the moments, and making these memories. And then this is gas, what happened after. So take in mind, this is all in the one day. We went to the cave, had like a once-in-a-lifetime experience in this cave. Then after that, in the evening, we went to the hut, and we're all having food and then drinks and smokes and whatnot, and looking out at the beautiful water and the sunset. Come on now. Come on, guys, living, living. But guys, remember, it's only living if you're actually present. That's a gem. It's only living if you're actually present. If you're not present in the moments of living, then you're not going to remember them. You're not going to remember them, and you're not going to enjoy them to the fullest, the utmost. So what is the experience really worth? But anyways, we're in the cave, had that wonderful experience, amazing. Then in the evening, we had the fisherman's hut, had all the beautiful food there. And then after that, right? Nordine was like, do you want to go to like a saloon? There's a saloon open down the road. And guys, this is in the middle of nowhere. So he drives us to a saloon. And this saloon, literally, it's a saloon and two houses and nothing else for miles. So we go in there, and then that was hilarious. I had some tea, Moroccan tea, which is so beautiful. For anyone's had Moroccan tea, it's delicious. And the guys had some drinks, and so to put it in precise, it was like a saloon out, like a Western, and there was seats outside. And we pulled up beside like the owner, and he was playing like a bongo, and Anna was playing the bongo too. And Nathan was chopping it on, and everyone was just singing, and it was such a great group of people and energy. So anyways, there was this one guy, and he was drunk, and he worked there, and he was kind of, the guy that's kind of trying to get everyone to sing, and it's a little bit annoying, but it's harmless, and no one doesn't mind him really. And the owner kept giving out to him like to calm down or whatever. And but like, that type of character you've kind of seen like many times before, kind of like harmless character. So anyways, and this is not so much about extracting happiness, but rather than just the end of the night. and like being in my positive mindset now and like being able to be the way I am. So anyways, we're all sitting down at the saloon, outside the saloon. It's like 12 o'clock at night. There's about 10 of us, drinks, flowing, rollies. Maybe it could have been spliffies. Yeah, there was spliffies too. And I kind of walk away a bit from the saloon just to kind of take it all in. And as I walk away from the saloon a little bit, the guy comes up to me with a light and he starts speaking Moroccan to me. I'm not sure which language. And he's like, come here, like, come with me. And I was like, all right. So me and him go off anyways, right? And we start walking and it starts to get like really dark. We're getting further away from the saloon. And we go to this house, right? And he pushes the window. So the front window of the door was just a cushion. So he pushes the cushion through and he puts this little light. It's like a little light that you charge. It's like something you get off the tour or something off Deals or something like that, off Wish.com. And he pushes the window through, which is just a cushion, and he starts singing into the door. And then he opens the door, right, and says, come in. He's come in, like, whatever his language. And I'm in this house, right, in the dark, and it's just these two lads sleeping on two beds, right? And he started showing me the house, right? So the guy, I don't know what his name was, the guy who brought me down to this house from the saloon, the drunk dude, he started showing me inside the house and around the house and whatnot with this little light in the dark. And he wakes the lads up and he's trying to grab the guitar and he's like, he points to the corner for me to sit. So I sit down and he goes, I said hello to the two other lads who spoke no English. Guys, all three people spoke no English. I was the only one who spoke English. So anyways, I knuckle touched them and I just smiled or whatever, do my peace sign. And I'm sat there in the corner. I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Meanwhile, I hadn't told Nathan and Aina where I'd went. And they were starting to get worried because I'd vanished. I don't think I brought my phone with me. So anyways, go back to where I was in this house in the corner. And I was just chilling there, and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, or like, and I kind of started trying to get up and started to leave, but your mom was like, no, sit down, like in whatever language. So I just chilled there for about 15 minutes as the lad just spoke. And take in mind, these lads are in bed, right? And they're just like, they're kind of annoyed at your man for coming in and waking them up, and God knows they know who I am or who they even fucking think I am. So anyways, I'm there for about 15 minutes, like just looking around at the ceiling. So and then eventually I get up again and I was like, oh no, I gotta go this time. He's like, okay. So anyways, we come out, go through there. I say goodbye to the lads. Poor old lads were fucking falling asleep and just wanted a bit of sleep probably. And they're like, who's this random Irish guy in their house? Literally in their bedroom, like the bedroom was like the living room. We got up anyways, went back to the saloon. Got back to the saloon, poor old Nathan and Aina. Especially Aina, right? So it turns out anyways, Aina was saying to the boss of the saloon, the owner, he was like, oh, my friend, he's gone missing. Do you know where he went? And the owner of the saloon was like, your friend? And Aina was like, yeah, my friend. And then the boss of the saloon goes, is your friend gay? And then Aina was like, no, sorry, no, he's gone missing. Sorry, what? And then the owner was like, is your friend gay? And then Aina was like, I think you're mishearing me when he's gone missing. And then he goes again, is your friend gay? And then he goes, no, he's not. And then the owner of the saloon goes, he'll be okay, so. Don't know what the fuck that meant. But anyways, I got back and it was okay and it was all Gucci and whatnot. But yeah, man, that was just hilarious, man. What a random situation. Probably one of the most random situations I've ever been in. But like, at no point did I feel like anything was going to go wrong. Like, it sounds a little more dodgy than it is. It was actually grand. But man, what an experience. So yeah, that was just one hell of a day. Guys, I'm just going to check the time here. How are we doing for time? Oh yeah, we're good. Probably a little bit worried about the in the window. I'll be gone. So yeah, that was just a cool day in Morocco. Man, that was a very cool day in Morocco. And yeah, so I guess that kind of like that evening kind of put a pep in my step. And then we ended up doing some magical things. Like we ended up getting quad bikes, driving them on the beach. That was insane. that was just incredible. I'd been on a fucking quad bike in years, so I forgot you have to put your energy to the side, like when you're turning. And we were going down fucking sand dunes, and the lads were flying. So it was Nathan and Aina on one, and then these two other lads, the instructors on one of the other quad bikes. No insurance, no nothing. Up you go, and off you went. That's the way to fucking do it too. But we're going through. The lads were fucking flying through the fucking dunes, and I was trying to, and I fucking almost crashed like a few times. But we went really far up this rocky kind of terrain, and then got to like a further beach. But then on the way back, man, because I had some experience then back in the quad bike, and the way back when we got onto the open beach, I just fucking revved the fucking shit out of it as fast as it go, and the sun was literally napping, just taking that gentle nap right on the horizon of the water. And I was looking out of it, and I was just taking it in, and I was like, man, this is so magical. Like, this is such a gift. And I don't think I would have been able to take that in if I wasn't able to sharpen the tool of being able to grab moments of joy and happiness even when I'm not feeling like I deserve it. Because that's another thing, guys. Sometimes if you're not feeling good and you're having like what should be the most enjoyable experience ever, you probably feel like sometimes that you don't like even deserve it. You're like, why should I deserve what's happening in front of me here? Because of how shit you feel. But thankfully I was able to, like, when I was looking at that sunset on the quad bike, I was like, no, I do deserve this. I do deserve it. No matter what I'm telling myself now, deep down inside and trying to beat myself up, I do deserve to have this experience. I do deserve to love life. And that's not easy. It's not easy to feel like you deserve love and deserve to love life, because that's kind of what it is. You kind of look at these experiences and you put such a value on them that when your value is low, you feel like you don't deserve it. So like, say that on the quad bikes with such an incredible experience, and how much I value something like that, and I've always wanted to do something like that, but because my value of who I am in that moment was low, it was trying to tell me I didn't deserve to feel the joy. I didn't deserve to feel the experience and the thrill of that moment, when I did, and I did deserve it, and I did have a wonderful experience. So yeah, that was pretty insane. But that's some kind of stories from Morocco. I'll tell more stories from Morocco as they go on. But I want to flip it, and I kind of want to tell a story of when I wasn't able to extract happiness from a moment. And that was, when was it? It was actually right before we went to Morocco. We went to the Russ gig, and man, I love Russ. Like, I really do love Russ. I've been a fan of Russ for years, American Russ, and we've had the joy of doing some work with his team, kind of small bits here and there, but I've never like spoken to Russ. I don't know Russ in any way, but I was really looking forward to the gig, and man, I wasn't in good spirits. Didn't feel good. Was a bit fucking down about my fucking acne. Just didn't feel good, and man, went to the gig, and it was so hard to enjoy it. And I went to the toilet, and I really tried to like do what I was basically preaching about 10 minutes ago, and extract happiness, enjoy it. But it was so tough, man. It was so tough. Just again, dissociated, detached from reality, intrusive thoughts trying to come in and beat me up, and I wasn't able to do it. So it's not like I've become so efficient and so sharp at extracting happiness. It still happens when I'm not able to do it, and that's unfortunate, because I feel like I've kind of lost that memory. I've lost that experience. Did it happen? Yes. Was still able to enjoy some of it? Yeah, I was able to enjoy some of it, but the large bulk of it, no. So it's not always sunshine and daisies, turning like a con into a pro, turning a negative into a positive. And you kind of have to accept that you're not going to always be able to turn bad moments into good moments. It's unfortunate, but it's kind of true. Like, you're not always going to be able to do that. It's just about how high can you get the baseline in terms of how many moments can you always try to make sure, as many as possible. Just accept them Just sometimes accepting when you don't feel good, you don't feel good. And accepting that this experience you're about to have, you're not going to be able to enjoy it. You know, it's always about persevering and doing your best to grab moments and extract happiness. But sometimes it is about just accepting, okay, this experience that I'm feeling, I'm just going to have to like soak it up and just get through it. And just be okay with not feeling good and not feeling happy and not feeling like I really enjoyed something. And aim to the future to try get the next one. And that takes a bit of learning too, because sometimes we can be like stubborn. We're like, no, I want to enjoy it no matter how I feel. But sometimes the soul or whatever, the responsibility of our negativity or the anxiousness, the pressure, whatever on your shoulders can be a bit too much. And you just have to accept you're not going to enjoy that experience that you've been given. But and that's yin and yang. Like, you can't have one without the other, unfortunately. You really can't. So, even though now, saying that though, well, something funny happened after. So after it was in the Olympia and we were all chatting. There was a big group of us, which was amazing. And there was some good moments in the night. Like, guys, I'm the ocean. Guarantee I always have at least one or two good moments, no matter what. It's just the attitude. It's drilled at this point. But we were having good chats after in the smoking area. One second, let me get some more of it. We're having good chats in the kind of alleyway of Temple Bar in Olympia. And obviously Russ comes out. And Russ is signing and getting pictures and stuff. And I'm not really the type of person to like, if there's a big group trying to run in and push in for a picture, like it's not very meaningful to me. So I seen him there in front of me, which is like, and my mindset is, man, I'm going to be seeing you in a year or two, or I'm going to like have a conversation, or I'm going to have you on this podcast. So like, that's kind of my mentality. My mentality isn't one of like, this is my only moment. My mentality is abundant. Like, I'll see you in the future. Like, it makes sense for me to see you in the future. So I kind of seen him, and I was like, oh, that's Russ. Like, he's a real person. So I was like, huh, that's cool. So I was hungry. So I was like, I'm going to get some chips. And just as I was walking away, he turned around at the other side. Like there was barriers, and I was like to the left, and he was right across from me. And I didn't even pay attention. But as soon as I walked away, he actually started walking away too. And I didn't notice this. And then when I turned to my right, I actually seen his manager. Funny enough, I was on Milan. It's actually called Milan. And I just went up to him and just said a couple of words. And it was really cool to meet Milan, because Milan, for anyone who knows Russ, was a pivotal player in Russ's come up. But then as I chat to Milan or whatever, who pops up right beside me but Russ? And then he was right in front of me, so I was like, oh, I might as well say hello now. So I just dapped him up and said, what's good, man, or whatever. But it was kind of hilarious when I'd accepted that, like, oh, I'm going to see him in the future. Like, it's normal. Like, I don't need to see him now. I'm going to see him in the future at some point. As soon as I accepted that and walked away, I literally met him. So that was kind of a funny universe thing. But that was cool. But yeah, I think that's kind of just about extracting happiness from moments for this episode is what I'm thinking. Yeah, just give yourself the best chance, guys. And that's what I'm trying to do this year. I'm trying to, I guess when I was on council and I was thinking about my baseline, you know, I'm trying to just always strive to improve my baseline. So I'm having more good days than bad days. Like, I was in counseling and they asked me how many more bad days do you think you have good days? And I was like, probably like 65%. I'm probably in a rut versus 65% in a rut, 35% focus. And if this year, above everything, I can switch that 65% focus, 35% in a rut, then I know I'm going to like completely change my life. Because the small habits and getting my baseline from here to here will just be transformative. And I know that will unlock so many things. And breaking that procrastination to, I need something to do, I'm going to just do it. And procrastination too. I was speaking about procrastination when I was doing counseling, and I was like, man, you procrastinate and put off something that you need to do. But by doing that, the procrastination becomes a worse feeling than doing whatever you had to do. The procrastination actually becomes the problem. That the further and more you put off something, that is the problem. Then that outweighs completely whatever it is you had to do. And just realizing that, and I'm implementing that, putting it in action. You know, I had to do some work last night, and I started the rumination. I started procrastinating it and thinking about the feeling of putting it off. And instead of entertaining that, I just went and did it. And I think just building that momentum of you need to do something, do it. I think that at a small level just compounds over time and will completely transform my life. So that's quite exciting, guys. That's very exciting. Is that very exciting? I think that's tremendously positive, Merton. I think you're making a real positive change in your life there, and you should really commend yourself. Thank you. I was feeling that way myself, but I didn't want to give myself all the credit. Well, you definitely should. God, it's great to be back doing podcasts. Yeah, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. 44 minutes. It's a nice old one back episode. I ain't going to say what episode it is because I don't know where it's going to go in the old lineup or going to go in the old lineup podcast. But this year, it's just all about improving my baseline and giving my all. You know, this year, I was thinking about goals and I don't directly have any precise goals of numbers and stuff yet. Maybe I might write down some. But the biggest thing is I just want to give my all. I've never given my all to something. And I'm not sure how many people can honestly say they've given their all to something. Like I've never given my all to this podcast or my work or my music. But this year, I'm just going to fucking, strive to really give my all. And it's okay saying that in January, but the way I want to treat it is looking at each month. I don't want to stop looking at a year and just treat each month as a separate month. The month is January. Let me just nail January. And so on and so on and so on. And just control what I can control. So yeah, that's... Oh yeah, also other updates, guys. I know I left to the end, but I am in the zoney zone making music. I'm back. Just focused on becoming the best artist possible. So excited with music for the new year. I'm doing a lot of exercises, writing every day, just building up momentum. But I'll chat about that more and as I go on. But yeah, that brings this episode to a close. Guys, this has been another episode of One Step at a Time. Not being your host, the Ocean Flight. 111 and straight to full potential with their delays. Guys, don't have a good day. Have a great day. Go on, get out of here, you silly rascal.